Piers Morgan and Candace Owens have teamed up for a scathing critique of Meghan Markle's new cooking show, delivering a masterclass in roasting that leaves little to the imagination. Joined by Maya Peterson, the trio dove into the absurdity of the show, barely containing their laughter as they tore it apart. Piers, in his typical dramatic style, kicked things off with a reluctant sigh, expressing his disdain for having to address the topic. "I don't even really want to do this," he lamented before launching into his critique of Meghan, the former royal-turned-Netflix star, who is attempting to portray herself as a down-to-earth housewife baking pies with friends. Candace, never shy about sharp commentary, quickly chimed in. "So she left the royal family because it was so unattainable and out of touch," she began, rolling her eyes. "But now she's in Montecito baking pies with her perfect little friends." She paused for effect and delivered her delightfully sarcastic question, "Do you believe in magic?" Meghan's cooking show is intended to evoke a sense of relatability, but as Candace pointed out, who really wants to watch her bake pies while the rest of the world grapples with rising gas prices? The crux of Meghan's dilemma is her attempt to sell an image of authenticity. "This is who I am," she seems to assert through her show. But what exactly is she selling? Candace aptly noted that no one finds the picture-perfect kitchen scene, where Meghan bakes in a pristine white outfit, remotely relatable. Seriously, who out there stuck in their tiny apartment thinks, "You know what I wish? I could bake in a multi-million-dollar mansion like Meghan Markle?" The commentary only got better. Candace continued her delicious burns, pointing out the inherent struggle in Meghan's persona to appear like an everyday person. "And then there's the humanizing part," she quipped. "They've apparently convinced Meghan to act like she's just one of us, but she's still sitting there in full glam, looking like a woman who's never seen a laundry day in her life. What's her secret to a normal life? A massive mansion, hundreds of millions in the bank, and a lifestyle so extravagant that even the Kardashians might deem it excessive." As the conversation deepened, Piers and Candace examined the sheer delusion of Meghan's portrayal. The ultimate question arose: does Meghan even realize how out of touch she appears? If she does, it's a level of self-awareness we may never witness. While Meghan sells an image of normalcy, the mansion behind her isn't even hers, it belongs to her neighbor. So much for relatability. At this point, the show felt more like a parody than a genuine cooking series. Piers nailed it when he said, "The show feels like the kind of thing you do if you were making a spoof about them." And let's not even start on Meghan's attempted royal Montecito vibe. Candace pointed out how utterly preposterous it is to see Meghan, a former D-list actress, trying to pass herself off as a combination of Oprah and Victoria Beckham. "The comparison is laughable," she remarked. "Those women have actually lived the lives they are portraying. Meghan, on the other hand, is still stuck in her D-list actress phase, trying to convince us she's someone she's not." Ultimately, the underlying motive for the show is clear. Netflix wants its pound of flesh. Unfortunately for Meghan, this latest endeavor appears to be another attempt to sell a facade of performative normalcy. The result? A cooking show that feels more like a comedy act, and not a particularly good one at that. Will it fail? Absolutely. And when it does, Meghan's excuse will likely be the same as with her previous failures. She'll blame external factors like wildfires or whatever tragedy is dominating the headlines at that time. The reality remains that in a world saturated with authentic narratives, Meghan's attempt to project normalcy from her privileged position has become an exercise in futility. As the trio continued their banter, it became increasingly evident that Meghan's efforts to regain relevance through this cooking show are misguided. The disconnect between her life and the lives of everyday people is stark, and audiences are growing weary of the charade. The combination of lavish living and an attempt to appear relatable has created a narrative that feels forced and insincere. In a landscape that celebrates authenticity, Meghan's cooking show seems out of place, further alienating her from the very audience she seeks to engage. Piers, Candace, and Maya's commentary serves as a reflection of broader sentiments. The public is no longer interested in the fairy tale of a former royal trying to fit into an ordinary life. Instead, they want stories that resonate, not those that feel manufactured. As the critique unfolded, it became clear that Meghan's foray into cooking television is less about culinary skills and more about a desperate attempt to reclaim her narrative. In an industry that thrives on genuine connection and relatable stories, her latest venture may be the final nail in the coffin of her public image. The question remains, will she pivot, learn from the backlash, and adapt, or will she continue down a path that only leads to more ridicule? Only time will tell, but for now, the cooking show seems destined to simmer down into obscurity.